Namaste, my name is Niranjana Jain. I was born and brought up in India in a Jain family, and I've been living in Dubai for the last 12 years.
So, hello Niranjana, how are you?
Always good, thanks for the grace of quantum vortex scalar wave photon pulse.
So, can I ask you, how do you know Sree Maa?
You know, Ekta, I never knew Sree Maa from before. I was looking for something because I was already on the spiritual path, but there was something missing, and I just knew it from inside. There is something more that I've not been able to find. And I was introduced. I was given the name Cosmic Fusion via another colleague of mine, and I came and checked the website, which I couldn't understand, but there was still this calling that I should do the workshop. So, cutting a long story short, I ended up doing my 5D plus plus awakening transformation workshop in the comforts of my own house while listening to a meditative tape for 7 days. This is in December 2011. And because I saw extreme and profound shifts in my state of being, you know, there was this peace and this calm and this completeness that I had been looking for. And there were no thoughts in my mind for the next 3 weeks, and which is what prompted me to go and meet the founders who could do this sitting afar whom I had never even met. So that is how, in Jan or Feb 2012, is the first time when I met Sree Maa.
So, now you've known Sree Maa for quite a few years.
Yeah, I think nearly 6.5, 7 years now.
So, what do you think of Sree Maa?
You know, this is a statement that's very difficult to. This is a question that's very difficult to express in a few words. Because when I first met Sree Maa, I instantly felt like I had come home. Sree Maa has been most welcoming. I had lots of questions, and Sree Maa has answered those questions very patiently, very honestly. And if there was something that I needed to look at, like I remember when I first met Sree Maa for a soul mapping session, Sree Maa was very honest and yet very gentle. So if there was something that I had to look at, it was put across very gently, but yet the truth was told. You know, it wasn't a very, how do you say, a fluffy version that was given to me. I have always been welcomed by Sree Maa, whether it is at their home or any workshop. Very warm, very compassionate, and there's this feeling of a bond that I can't explain in words. You know, it need not be a friend or a teacher or my mother. It's just a different word, a bond that maybe doesn't have a word that can describe it the best.
Can you share what difference has Sree Maa Shivji made in your life?
So the first instant shift, like I said, was not even meeting Sree Maa Shivji. I just saw it with the 5D plus plus awakening transformation workshop. And in the last 5 to 6 years, I have seen it's been an upward journey on my spiritual path. Anything that was negative in my life that I perceived to be negative has automatically receded. You know, I stay in a very neutral zone, thanks to the gift of the quantum vortex scalar wave photon pulse that Sree Maa gifted. But more than that, Sree Maa as a person is like I said, a bond. But to put in a few words, my mentor, my teacher, my friend, a shoulder I can cry on, you know, all rolled into one, is what would best describe Sree Maa.
Spoken that you were already looking into the spiritual teachings before, and then you met Sree Maa Shivji, and
yeah, I think Sree Maa Shri was a culmination of my own sort of prayer to my first guru. So I started with transcendental meditation immediately after college, so which is almost in 2003 or 4 when I started with it. And I started reading the Vedic scriptures like Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Ashtavakra Gita, very, reading as a not very deep study, but just to understand the deeper nuances of life, what the Atma is all about, why am I here, all these from 2008 until 2011. And yet there was this feeling, you know, that something is amiss. And that's how that question that came, that what is it that's missing, you know, I can't understand. And that one moment of total surrender, and I was in this deep state of Turiya Avastha, and I said, you know what, I don't know what it is, please just come into my life, or you know, Sri Ravi Shankar was my guru at that time, and I said, just send whatever is missing, you know, I'll trust you. And boom, Sri Maa Shri came into my life.
would you say Sree Maa's teachings are consistent with the ancient Eastern philosophies, or did they change over a period of time?
No, they have been very consistent. In fact, the first time when I heard Sree Maa talking, I just knew this was coming from Sanatan Dharam because I already had a background from Patanjali. Like I said, I was reading the scriptures, Kena Upanishad, Kathopanishad, I was just exploring them. So the minute that came, I just knew the teachings were coming from Sanatan Dharma right from the start. And I have never seen the teachings shift at all. Sree Maa's most basic teaching that was given out was being the non-doer, to constantly step back. That basic teaching has never shifted. And after that, it was just, a build-up on this basic concept. Sree Maa had told us right in the earlier days itself that Sree Maa is going to use the Bhagavad Gita as the base of advanced studies. And Sree Maa has stuck by that. I have never seen any shifts in any kind of teaching from Sree Maa Shri. Like it wasn't a fluff that something was taken from here, something was taken from here. Not like that.
So would you agree Sree Maa Shriji's teachings are very direct and very transparent, or would you say Sree Maa withholds the information?
Ita, I have found Sree Maa Shriji's teachings very direct, very transparent. I have never found Sree Maa to be fluffing around from one book to the other. In fact, as I look back, when you've asked me this question, I have never seen Sree Maa refer a book. So the ultimate wisdom, I don't know where it comes from. In my eyes, Sree Maa is a highly elevated soul who is able to bring such profound shifts in me. Of course, it was done in complete silence initially when I did the Awakening Transformation workshop. It was my curiosity that led me to Sree Maa, and then when I asked questions and the kind of answers that I received were just so beautiful, and it made sense to somewhere in my inner being that prompted me to go further with the courses that Sree Maa was offering. So to me, the teaching style has been very transparent, very direct. In fact, it was full of humor. Sree Maa gauge the energy in the room. If the energy was a little too heavy, Sree Maa would just immediately bring this beautiful sense of humor that would lighten up the air in the environment. When seriousness was needed, it was there.
So if I understand you correctly, Sree Maa lightens up the room and just knows the pulse of the room.
Yes, that is very, very beautifully summarized, Ekta. And it's just not about the room. I have had, Sree Maa just tunes in with the inner core, I feel. Because even if I have not voiced something or if I have not expressed something, Sree Maa has just given an answer and it just resonates with my soul. And it's just, it can happen even in a room full of people. So it's not just when I'm, I have to personally be in Sree Maa's presence to be able to get that, kind of bond. A room full of people, like even when we were at the retreats, and we were going through such intense meditations and, initiations were being offered to us, graced on us. Sree Maa would just know if I was feeling a little, something was coming up, like emotionally if something was going to be released, and Sree Maa would just come up with this beautiful, sort of an expression or a way of just calming me down. Sree Maa just tunes into the soul, very, very intuitive.
So Niranjana, I was just wondering, do you think there will be people who would have some resistance to the very direct and open way of talking of Sree Maa Shiji?
Yes, that is very much possible. I do believe so, because if you're not willing to look at the layers of your own ego, then it might offend the ego. Now, it depends on what level are you asking me the question. Are you asking me when you meet people in general, or you're referring to, say, one of the workshops? Now, say every time I have interacted with Sree Maa or I've gone out with Sree Maa and I've seen Sree Maa operate with people in general, Sree Maa is very polite. Sree Maa will barely interact with anyone, But if you listen to one of the discourses of Sree Maa, because Sree Maa is talking the absolute truth, it could, conflict with certain belief systems that are prevalent in the world. And if a person is not open enough to be able to even listen that there could be something much more deeper than what they already know, they could find it resistant. They could be, they could get a little, stirred. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah. And do you think Sree Maa could be prone to attack due to the nature of Sree Maa's teachings?
Yes, I do think that is a possibility, because the power of the work that Sree Maa is bringing in, it holds a lot of potential to liberate a lot of souls from the kind of belief systems and, the term is called Maya, that they have enmeshed themselves into. So it is possible that there could be an attack on Sree Maa.
I think I already know the answer, but I'll just ask the question. Did you ever feel Shri Mataji indoctrinated you or imposed any belief system on you?
Ekta, as you said, you already know the answer. That is the answer. I have never been forced into believing anything that I didn't want to. On the contrary, I have been encouraged to research whatever Sree Maa was saying. You ask other people, other teachers, do your own research online, and that is what I have done, to be very honest. So at no point in time was I forced into accepting anything. If there was something that I didn't understand, I have questioned. I'm sure you know that, but
Yes.
I have questioned. And even if I didn't understand the concept, I've said, Sree Maa, I don't think I can understand this at this moment, you know. It's your call. It was never a force. In fact, I clearly remember Sree Maa had said, take it slow. Where is the rush? There is no rush. You take things slow, and more than anything, the knowledge is deep inside you. I am only awakening you. Even if you sit in silence and tune in with the most benevolent gift, the quantum vortex scalar wave photon pulse that Sree Maa Shri has gifted, the answers will come from within. It is because my mind is in a chatter. I'm just a person like that, you know. So I'm constantly researching and, you know, want answers, that I end up asking questions. But the gift has already been given. So even if I tune in silence, I'll have my answers from within my soul. It's very freeing, you know. It is very, very freeing, the work that Sree Maa has offered, because there is no need for an external teacher. But I have realized that I don't need a middleman in between. It is just an experience of me, my Atma, with the Paramatma, via the quantum vortex scalar wave photon pulse. Beautiful.
How was your experience in the facilitator training program? Would you be able to sum it up a little bit?
That is a question that I would be difficult to just say it in a few words. My personal experience was beautiful. It started with the 2013 Fit Trial intake, which I wasn't able to attend. However, as Sree Maa's grace and compassion always flows, Sree Maa just gave me the videos to listen to them, and I was just accepted to volunteer. There were a lot of discourses which were always most beautiful, mind-opening. You know, it really brought me out of a certain way of thinking, and with so many modalities and teachings, you know, that are just mushrooming everywhere. Sree Maa's teaching sort of gave me a direction, you know, and the truths that were being shared, it resonated with my core. And as I progressed with the fit training, it was I who volunteered. You know, I had approached Sree Maa that, Sree Maa, can I be a part of your mission? It is fantastic. I mean, there's nothing to be done. In complete silence, a person can be awakened to the true Atma.
Yes.
Beautiful, you know. And Sree Maa was most welcoming. And as part of the training, the facilitator in training program, I realized that it was more than being trained to train others. It was more a training ground for me to be able to practice the non-doer. I learned that phenomenally with the practical experiences that I had on expos and in events. And you know, as I was working with the others, I also realized how egos react, and how important it was that the basic message that Sree Maa kept giving: step back, just step back, be the non-doer, everything will flow. It is an experience that I have come to realization myself. And the layers of ego that I was holding on to, which were completely hidden in my own, you know, my own awareness as well, this is something that I had to reflect on. And even that process was beautiful. I mean, of course, there were days where I went really low. There were days because, you know, my own muck was coming out, and nobody wants to see your own dirty, you know, like your own ugly face. But yeah, if you're bold enough, if you're willing to really break it and move towards your Atma, you know, live from the level of your Atma, the fit training that Sree Maa provided was an excellent platform. Overall, my experience was fantastic. The only time it became dirty was because of the meddling of the narcissists in the group. And now in hindsight, when I look, I was very upset. I'll be honest about it. I was very upset at the games that were being played, the confusion that was being created unnecessarily. And at one point in time, the whole mission of Cosmic Fusion for which I had joined was completely sidetracked. You know, and it all became about the ego, the personality, when Sree Maa had clearly said that your mental makeup is your own responsibility. So I did experience anger, because I had come with a very firm focus of looking at my Atma. But Sree Maa has still given me what I needed, and I have learned that discernment is very much needed on this planet. Even if I live from the level of Atma, discernment is the key, and I have learnt it during my fit training.
And you said earlier you take Shri Maa as your guru.
Yeah, I do.
Can you elaborate a little bit what motivates you to take Shri Maa as your guru, your teacher, your mentor?
Yeah, and Ekta, this was a very beautiful experience for me and an exercise that I went through. I had accepted Shri Ravi Shankar as my guru earlier because his kriya and his teachings were really, really helpful. But then, like I said, there was something missing, and I came into Cosmic Fusion as well. But the final culmination of accepting Sree Maa as my guru had come in the 2015 retreat, when we all had been graced with a beautiful initiation called the Guru Mantra Initiation. And it still brings goosebumps when I talk about it, because it was such a profound experience for me that when the Guru Mantra was being given, I had already done, Sahat Samadhi meditation with Shri Ravi Shankar, and I felt somewhere that I'm betraying him, because when I needed him, I used him as much as I wanted. And now suddenly, because I found something far more advanced, I felt I was letting him go. And there was this part in me that didn't want to let him go. And Sree Maa had so beautifully explained, that it's your call. You take your time. If you want to accept, you accept. It's an experience at the end of the day. And how there is, like as children, you have your parents. Like there's always a bigger, a father of a father. She said, why don't you accept a bigger mantra to what you've already been given? I'm stating it very loosely, but the explanation given by Sree Maa was it's very difficult to express the way Sree Maa talks. And I said, yeah, I think that just makes sense, And in complete silence, when that Guru Mantra initiation happened, I had tears. And I have written about this experience in my blog as well. It just came naturally. It just came naturally that, this was it, the bond that I felt at that time. I just knew it from inside that this is the path, and that Sree Maa is my guru who will be able to lead me far ahead on my spiritual journey than anything that I've come across so far.
So any other way that, Sree Maa has touched your life?
So that really depends on which level are you asking me. You tell me which aspect has it not touched me and benefited me. At the physical level, I feel so much more healthier. I had a very severe case of hyperthyroidism as well, which has come under complete control, If you talk about emotional well-being, fantastic healing is what I have experienced. And in terms of my personal relationships, beautiful bonding has again happened with my parents, because there was a point in time where we had sort of drifted away. Like there was a lot of misunderstanding, and my parents felt that they did everything for me, and I felt that they were not giving me my space that I needed. But the minute I did my workshop, that was the first thing that I experienced, that my the rift that I was experiencing with my parents started to melt down, and my parents felt something. To cut it short, both my parents have done the 5D++ Awakening Transformation Workshop as well, and I was so fortunate that both mum, dad, and my younger brother have been touched by Sree Maa's grace on the same day. So all three of them did their workshop together, and since then, like me and my entire family, we've never really looked back, And when my brother just got married 2 years back, the 5D++ Awakening Transformation Workshop was a gift to my sister-in-law. I said, this is a gift that has touched me so beautifully, and this is my gift to you.
Thank you so much, Niranjana, for your beautiful and very clear sharings.
Yes, thank you for asking.